The quick and yet effective blitzkrieg in Northern Ireland has come to a complete halt at the edge of the Northern Irish capital, Belfast. We have no development in terms of a British army and near a counteroffensive at this time. And the British Parliament said that they do not know when Belfast is going to fall. It must be pretty terrifying for the residents living in the city. I don't blame them. After what happened in Armagh, why wouldn't they be scared? A colleague hands Midori and Hayashi one sheet of paper each. We have breaking news from India. The passenger merchant cruiser body has been sunk 100 miles off Colombo, Sri Lanka. The ship's 2 survivors say that a stream of blue fire was shooting through the ship, resulting in a massive explosion. Yes, indeed. The Indian Navy examined the destruction in question, and results were very shocking to say the least. Traces of radiation was found in an area of 50 meters across. Unfortunately, no other survivors aside from the 2 were found in the wreckage. However, they found what remains of said survivors on board, including staff. The names of the two survivors are Akira and Chiri Misaka. They arrived in an airbase in New Delhi and asked to be transported back to Okinawa. They are now arriving back on the island as we speak. As for the traces of radiation, the Indian Navy has concluded that it will be heading east before possibly disappearing. More in the story as it develops. West of metropolitan Tokyo, there lies a sovereign city-state filled with elementary, middle, and high schools and colleges. A sovereign city, simply known as Academy City, Gakuintashi. 1/3 the size of Tokyo, it is home to over 2.8 million inhabitants and founded by Edward Alexander Crawley, Alistair by many, over 50 years ago. Most of the population comprises of scientists and students, the latter of which are Espers. The Espers within the city are ranked, determined by strength and power ranging from level 0, the weakest, to level 5, the strongest. However, only 7 have managed to achieve level 5 status. It seems calm and relaxing on the outside looking in, but it is the complete opposite. In fact, the motto is that it never gets dull, or there is never a dull moment in the city. From low-level crimes to world-changing events that alter the city's history on many occasions. And most, if not all of them, have been done to a certain group of students and others who have gone through them all. For 2 of the students, they have witnessed more events in and outside of the city than anyone else. Their individual challenges were difficult, but they have overcome them all. However, nothing will prepare them for the greatest and most dire challenge of them all. These are the stories of those 2 students who encountered forces that were unlike anything that came before. A city bus stops next to a sidewalk near the airport. The doors opens, and the first to exit are a group of adults with lab coats on. Next are a couple chatting about their experience in the city. And last to step off is a young 14-year-old girl. She steps off the bus, dragging along a suitcase in her left hand. She is a student of a particular all-girls middle school, and usually students like her are supposed to wear the school-assigned uniform, but she is wearing female skinny jeans, a red scarf, and a brown winter coat. And she knows why that is. The dormitory supervisor, Haruko Maeda, crosses her arms and stares at the young girl who has a big smile on her face. A family vacation to Okinawa. Yes, ma'am. You do know what happened last year, right? I don't know what you're talking about. Maida's stare now becomes scornful, and the girl's smile fades away. You know exactly what I'm talking about. During your trip to Berlin last year, you pissed off multiple Germans, and you got into multiple fights resulting in third-degree burns on the victims. You think I'm that dumb, Mikoto Misaka? The 3rd level 5 Esper knows what she is talking about. Oh, that. Shit. But I promise you that this time is completely different. How? You met my mother, right? Well, we're visiting her parents. If I remember correctly, your orientation sheet only mentions your mother and father, and there's no mention of your grandparents. We have a complicated history. Drama? That and something else. Mikoto suddenly bows her head down to 90 degrees. Please, Miss Supervisor, I'll behave this time. Maida adjusts her glasses and sighs. How long will you be gone? Her head perks up. At least 4 days. Permission granted. Any more days than that, you know what happens. I don't want you missing Academy City's 50th anniversary parade. Mikoto Misaka holds her light brown chestnut hair with a flower hair clip as the city bus drives off, leaving behind a little breeze. Her eyes gazes upon the airport, reaching up to 30 meters in height. She looks down and starts walking forward. She enters through the entrance. As the doors closes automatically behind her, she can feel the heat hitting her. She takes off her brown winter coat, then takes a look around the airport. People booking flights, waiting or rushing to their scheduled airliners, more security than usual, and the sight of planes taking off in the background. Ah yes, the typical busy hours of the Academy City International Airport. She adjusts her 3 yellow-hearted black shirt, puts her coat on her shoulder, and digs into her pocket. She takes out 3 plane tickets and looks at the top of them. She sees the number of the airliner that she is boarding, 316. She looks up and starts walking ahead in search of Terminal 316. She continuously looks at the tickets and at the numbers placed on it and above the terminal entrance, 312, 313, 314. She is getting closer. Finally, she spots 316. However, she notices the message underneath that reads, "Not yet ready for boarding." Knowing that, she turns around to look for an open seat. She finds one between 2 men in black suits. She sits down, places her suitcase in front of her legs, and lays her coat on her lap. She then leans back in her chair and arches her head up, giving out a heavy exhale. God. She places her hand on her forehead and rubs it. Her eyes close and she takes another deep breath. Good grief. After everything I went through in the past 6 months, I definitely need a vacation. All of the things that has happened to her within the past 6 months of 2004 comes to her mind in a flash. Some of the events had left a mental scar that she will never get rid of. All of it has exhausted and taken a toll on her. She opens her eyes, revealing her brown pupils once again. Tiny blue electric bolts sparks in her hair. Yeah, I definitely deserve this. But still, what a ride. Her phone in her left pocket vibrates. She reaches and pulls it out. She opens her green frog, Gekuda, flip phone and sees who is calling her. Toma Kamijo. Her body arches forward with her head looking down at the phone. What does he want? She pushes call and puts the phone next to her left ear. Hello?
Hey Misaka, you got a minute?
For a limited time. What's up?
Shirai, Sun, and Uiharu came to my place and told me that they've been looking for you. So, out of curiosity, where are you?
Mikoto, throughout this whole time planning for her trip and gaining permission from the dorm supervisor, Maida, realized that she never told anyone of what she was doing or where she was going. Oh, jeez. Well, I'm catching a flight to Okinawa.
Really? Why?
To visit my grandparents. We traveled around the world, but this time, we're going to be on the island where they grew up on.
Oh, they survived a ship accident in the Indian Ocean, right? Really amazing how they survived.
Hearing the words coming out of his mouth did not shock Mikoto at all. What's a little shocking is that she has not talked to anyone about it. She figures that Toma must have seen it on the news. Yeah, I heard. And the details that Grandpa gave were kind of vague. Blinding flash of light, strange noise, blue flames. How weird is that? Honestly, I've heard weirder things, but that kind of takes the cake. So, I'm guessing you'll have a lot of questions to ask him, right? It's something like that. Yeah. And you know what? You should know that I deserve to get out of this city. If this isn't a good enough excuse, then I don't know what is. Wait, hang on. Are you sure that you're not just leaving because of me, the things that I get myself into, and the things that I've done around you? What the hell? Don't be so dense. It's not like I actually wanted to get away from you. I'm still coming back, you know.
But to get away from Shirai?
Okay, that's part of the reason.
Right. So, when will you be back?
In 4 days.
Right. Well, don't let me stop you. Have fun.
Yeah. Thanks,
What did you say?
I'll see you later. She hangs up the call immediately. Her face turns beet red and her hand shakes. God fucking damn it! The men in suits on her left and right look at her with confusion and slight concern. Sorry about that. Mikoto remembers the day when she and Toma Kamijo first met, on the night of June 17th, 2004. In their first few encounters, Mikoto was getting him to fight her several times, but the one time that she did get her wish, she was defeated by default. Another fight almost happened on July 19th, but that resulted in a citywide blackout. Later on, she became very determined to defeat him. However, all of that changed on the night of August 21st. 11 days prior, she was handling a major problem on her own. But on that day, Toma voluntarily helped her even when she did not want anyone else to be involved in it, even going so far as to nearly killing him with her electricity. Afterwards, on a few occasions, she and Kamijo would meet and be involved in some of the most bizarre, insane turn of events in their lives. Along the way, her feelings towards him had flourished, but she never confessed her feelings and hides them behind a very standoffish, stone-cold attitude, the definition of a tsundere. Oh, right. Sorry about that. Mikoto brushes her hair back. She puts her phone back into her pocket. Oh, there you are. She hears a woman's voice, a voice that she knows all too well. She turns and sees a brown-haired woman with a man standing beside her. Oh, Mama, you made it. But why did you want to come, Papa? Well, why wouldn't I want to visit my in-laws? And after what happened, it was a no-brainer. And usually your father would be off somewhere in the world, but he decided to spend some time with us. That's good. Calling all passengers for Flight 316 to Okinawa. At 6 p.m., the Going 747 lifts off from the runway into the air. Mikoto, sitting in first class with Tabigake and Mizuzu, looks out the window. She watches as the plane goes further and further away from Academy City. She smiles and snickers to herself. I'm sure they'll be fine without me. You know, Mikoto, I was going to ask you how you managed to get first-class tickets, but I thought against it. Mikoto sits back in the plane seat. It's only for 2 hours and 40 minutes, so enjoy it. Will do. The plane disappears in the clouds en route to its destination. Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at Okinawa. We will be landing shortly. The passengers, including Mikoto, looks out the window. In her sights are the lit-up buildings of the island's capital, Naha. It's hard to believe, isn't it? She turns to her father. What is? Your grandfather was a World War II veteran, and Chidori was on this very island when the war came to her. I bet they have a lot of stories to tell you. I was never taught about the Battle of Okinawa. Hard to believe that this used to be the site of one of those battles. Guess Grandpa does have another story for me. You have no idea. Minutes later, Mikoto and her parents are carrying their luggage and walking around the Naha airport to look for Akira and Chidori. Mikoto is only 5'3", so looking past the massive crowd is very difficult. But Mizuzu and Tabigake are having much better luck. The two look over many people's heads, yet the overcrowded airport is becoming very difficult. A sign peers out within it. The two look towards it. To their astonishment, it reads their last name. Mizuzu grabs her daughter and husband's hand, and the three runs through the people. As the three draw closer, the crowds becomes less and less. Finally, the three sees the old couple standing together. Mizuzu lets go of their arms and hugs her parents out of sheer joy and relief. Whoa! It's good to see you too. Oh, we were so worried about you. I'm so glad you're okay. It's okay. Mother's still here. Akira's attention turns to Tabigake approaching him. It's good to see you, old man. I see you still kicking. Akira shakes his hand. Haven't lost my survival instincts yet. Akira and Chidori turns their attention to Mikoto, who, without saying a word, goes up to them and delivers a good hug to both. Oh, it's good to see you too. They stop and shows the three to where the exit is. Right, let us show you around. Moments later, the Misaka's exits the airport and enters the Michi XW20. The vehicle enters Naha proper just after 8:28 p.m. The city at night is such a beautiful sight in the air, but on the ground, it is much more so within. Ah, man, I can't believe we've never shown you our home. I think we should... Chidori stops him before he finishes his sentence. Maybe we should wait until the morning. Really? I mean, the night is still young. Aki, I'm very sure. All right. At 8:34 p.m., the XW20 comes to a stop in front of a one-story house. Here we are, our humble abode. Tabigake, Mizuzu, and Mikoto looks to their right. The house that they are staring at looks too modern than the others. This it? It doesn't look much. You haven't seen anything yet. Mikoto becomes a little concerned, yet excited all at once. Tabigake goes to take his and his wife's luggage, while Mikoto drags her own out of the car. The car alarm is set, and the five enters the front yard. A lot of flowers are planted, and there are bushes next to the wall. They close the door behind them, and the three takes a good look at the interior of the house. On the outside, it looks like any modern house in Naha, but on the inside, it looks like a combination of modern day and early to late Showa era, with sliding doors. stylized paper as walls, and a very retro aesthetic. Wow, it looks like I just stepped back in time. I told you, most of this is from an era before your time, even my time, even though I lived here for 10 years. Anyway, where are you going to sleep? Is it okay if Mikoto take my room? Oh, goodness, not at all. Although, do you remember where it is? Down the hall, third door on the left. Yeah, I remember. Come on, honey, follow me. Mizuzu walks ahead with her daughter following her. Meanwhile, Tabigake sends the suitcases down in the living room. Hey, old man, you got any futons? Oh, I got something better, and it came in last week. The old veteran kicks a couch recliner. A bed unfolds and pops out and plants itself on the floor. Oh, nice. Meanwhile, here you go, my old room. The bedroom door slides open and the two enter. Mizuzu turns on the light. Right away, Mikoto is shocked by the amount of posters both in German and Japanese. Why don't we settle in for the night? I gotta go help your father with unloading our stuff. Hey, Mizuzu, how much stuff do you have in here? Oh, wait, don't open it, or you might... Oh, God! The next thing they hear are clothes flying and a loud thud. Ah, jeez, I gotta go help your father. Tabi, I told you to wait! Why did it have to be so heavy like a bag of bricks? Mikoto walks over to the bed on the right side of the room. She rests her suitcase on the side, and she falls on the bed onto her back. As her head stares up at the ceiling, a lot of thoughts are swirling inside of her mind. Yeah, I can tell that this is going to be a very interesting story for me to hear.